DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
Alright, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live with the legendary Miss Toy. You all might know her from Ice Cube, You Can Do It, and the lovely radio show. Here she is. How you doing, Miss Toy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. You know what's up.
Hey, you are most certainly welcome. I have to say, You Can Do It was the anthem back when I was a kid, so it is an absolute honor to have you here. So first of all, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Man, I appreciate you having me. You know, it's our 20-year anniversary for that song. You know, and as a part owner, I feel honored to be on a show that is a fan from day one.
Honestly, that 20 years old thing, wow. It does not seem like 20 years, though. I have to ask you, how do you feel just knowing that it's a 20th anniversary of that track?
I feel like making more money with it. That's what I feel like.
Hey, you know what? Spread it, you know what I mean? You got to get them royalties.
Mm-hmm. No, they coming, and the more we broadcast it and stream it like this, it's going to keep going.
Oh, most definitely. So I have to ask you, Miss Toy, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
So it's a challenge for me. So in the beginning, it was challenging. It was something I really already was talented and gifted in doing, but it was a how and how long type of thing, you know, because I started out as a hip-hop dancer, and then I got my opportunity to work with, you know, my first professional producer in the studio with writers, and Ronnie DeVoe was one of my first, you know, artists that was known that I worked with, like my very first song. So after a session like that, I mean, who wouldn't be inspired, you know what I mean, to keep going?
Oh, most definitely. And I have to ask you, when you brought up being a dancer, you were actually a dancer for the group Thick and the Girls. I have to ask you, what was that experience like, and how did you guys get together?
Well, just being a part of the industry early on with a group called Motion Step, you know, they also did choreography for other groups, and you know, I got asked to come in, you know, because I played the other woman in He's Mine video as well. So during that time, we're young, we're fresh out of high school, you know, in entertainment. So, you know, when it came down to figuring out what I wanted to do, you know, hey, that group was right there, and I was shining. And once I got in that group, I was, you know, pretty much all the fans of the club, they came to me. So I wanted the mic after that. So it was a very short stint, but it was very, you know, key and instrumental in how I became an MC, you know.
And you also, your very first studio recording was "Lifestyles of the Rough and Sexy." I have to ask you, what was the inspiration behind that recording?
Because me and Ron hung out, you know, before we got a chance to even make the song. You know, he would come to our family barbecues, and we would play dominoes and cards, and so our lifestyle was kind of like what it's all about. You know, it's sometimes you have a rough edge, and sometimes you have to be cool. You know, so we both thought about that. Like, we both kind of sexy, and we both kind of rough. And my voice was real rough to them. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they was like, "Man, you hard. Your voice is hard." You know what I'm saying? It's like rough. You know what I'm saying? So we went with that flow, and so that's how we came with, you know, that idea.
And also, on your debut album, you had the opportunity to work with NWA's own MC Ran. I have to ask you, what was it like working with MC Ran, and what is he like behind the cameras?
Oh man, that's how he got on the album, because he was we was on the Up and Smoke tour, and so I mean, he was on the same bus as me as well. So when we traveling to different states to do these shows, I'm like with headphones on in my bunk, like every day, literally writing to my new songs that I'm finna put out on that girl album. You know what I'm saying? So none of them didn't know that I had a record deal with Universal. You know. So then one day, Ren asked me, what was I doing? What am I, you know, what am I writing to? And I'm like, I'm working on my album that's coming out. So then I said, would you be on it though? And he was like, yeah, hell yeah. So, you know, we negotiate the business and everything, and he did his session, and I really loved, you know, what he said, you know, in the rap, as well as his genuine, you know, love in person. Like, he treated me like a little sister. So I'll never forget the bond, you know, from that to doing business with him, to, you know, following each other now in real time, and, you know, supporting each other on that level. Sometimes, you know, relationships break with other people, but they build other places, you know?
Oh, most definitely agree. I've interviewed a few people that actually had the privilege of working with MC Ren as well, and they said nothing but great things about him. They said he was. They said
Absolutely.
every single person though said he was a machine in the studio. Like you couldn't get this guy away from the microphone.
Back to the business. I mean, that's just what I learned in this business is to stay, diligent and be sharp on it. I started out with Militia. It's 4 guys in the group, and even that, Tan had like 5 or 6 brothers, and they all wanted to be rappers too. So I always was in a cipher with all guys. You know what I'm saying? So when it was time to go write the bars or get in the booth or freestyle or whatever it had, I couldn't be shy. I couldn't be timid. I couldn't be any of that. They wouldn't even allow it.
And so, while we're on the topic of NWA, another NWA member, Ice Cube, you had the privilege of working with him. Everybody knows this song. I gotta say, if you don't know this song, Spin It Back. It's a great song. You Can Do It. That was featured in the Next Friday movie. I have to ask you, what was it like working with Ice Cube, and how did you two initially get connected?
We initially got connected from Terry Carter. Terry Carter, rest in peace. He gave me his number. I was sitting in a meeting with Terry while he was working on Heavyweight Records, and he was like, "Man, so I wouldn't even know what to do with you. I'm gonna have to give I'm gonna have to give you Cube number, Max something." You know what I'm saying? So he gave me both their numbers, and I connected with him, and I told him, we gonna sit down and have a meeting. He set it up. I brought Tan with me. We played the music, and that was early on. That was before you could do it. So later on, when they mentioned my name after they was about to scrap the song, he said, "Yeah, So I came through, made it history. You feel me?
And I have to ask you this, like, as we already mentioned, it was featured in Next Friday. Did you have the privilege of actually being on set for any of the scenes for Next Friday at all?
Oh, man, no, I was beginning in my career, you know what I mean? I wasn't anybody's artist, and I wasn't, by chance, I was, working. I was in Houston, and I was, you know what I mean? I was traveling, becoming an MC. So I was on my own journey at the time, and then when I did come back, Lil X was the reason why I was even in the video, because he called me and told me that they was trying to put another female in and kind of just come in and fill in, and he was like, "Hell no, I know Miss Toy," you know what I'm saying? So I get my blessings in different kind of ways, and her story is a little bit different, and it's very unique, you know what I mean? So no, I wasn't on the set, but I am a part of the whole soundtrack, so it feels like I was, you know what I mean?
Oh, most definitely. That song was was the theme of the movie, so you most definitely were a big part in the movie.
And Save the Last Dance, because I have a lot of fans in different areas, you know what I'm saying, different ages, and they grew up on different things. Some of them really know it from Next Friday, but a lot of them really know it from Save the Last Dance, too. You know what I mean? The scene, the dancing scene. So it comes in different ways for me.
I actually have never saw it. I've seen Save the Last Dance back in the day, but I did not know that song was actually in the movie. So, like they said, you learn something new every day.
I went to the premiere of that movie, actually. That's the one I did get invited to the premiere, so I did go to the premiere of Save the Last Dance.
That's pretty cool. Like you said earlier, you were part of the rap group Militia. I have to ask you, how did you and them get connected? Like initially, what's the story behind that formation of that iconic rap group?
Well, Emmanuel Dean is who called me in to revive the group, and then I brought Mr. Tan with me because me and Mr. Tan was a duo at the time, and sometimes you just roll with your original feeling. Like, why would I separate my group to go with somewhere else? I don't know what's going to happen. Now, unless we come in and take over, and something like that. And at that time, we was doing a lot of work for other people, and I heard Dre wanted to sign me, and my managers at the time didn't want to break me up, but things happened the way they're supposed to. I wasn't supposed to be signed to any of the artists. I was supposed to be signed to Universal so I can get a chance to see from my own eyes how to run a label. That's why I run one now. So, yeah.
And also, alongside your music, you were also in the movie called Tapped Out with Coolio in 2003. I have to ask, what was that experience like? And was it a different transition going from, music to the camera?
No, because I actually performed in the movie. So it's like me. Being me, I was just Pamela. And Pamela was trying to, save her friend, and he was in trouble. So at the end of the day, I did make the call to be able to save some lives. So, and then, promote my music at the end. So my song that's featuring E40, Work a Twist, produced by Mike City, who I'm working with right now, is in that movie. So you'll see me performing that at the little pool scene in the movie Tapped Out. And it was real dope working with all of those professionals.
It's actually really cool. You know, Coolio is such a legendary individual in the industry. Like, what was it like working with him? Like, is he a nice guy in real life?
Yeah, we actually had a song we did. This and That, back in the day, we did a song just on YouTube somewhere. We stay working, you know what I mean? Anytime I seen him, he was just busy doing what he do, you know what I mean? Everybody's grown in so many different ways and apart. But to me, my humble beginning started with the legendary people who you play on your show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful to have that.
Oh, most definitely. I'm thankful to have like you and the rest of the individuals on my show as well. I grew up listening to them as well. So sometimes when you book them, it's mind-boggling the fact that you actually knock on that door and they open it. You know, it's.
Oh yeah. Oh no, this door is open. You know what I mean? Not only because I do podcasting as well, but I had Lovely Radio before. I just brought it back. And I'm thankful to have a platform like Spreaker and, for Aces, because to me, this is how my music is really getting in the system for sure. And when I work with other artists, that's how your music is played. From people that love you and people that have good intentions. That's how the music really gets heard, you know?
Almost definitely. And I have to say, Spreaker is a wonderful platform, you know. You don't have to spend 90% of your time distributing your shows. They do majority of that for you. So that's actually a really good thing.
There you go. You've been doing some great advertising, by the way.
Thank you very much. I try my absolute hardest. I'm my own street team, so.
Me too. I got one squad, man. It's just a small circle, don't trip. That's how it goes. And that's where you see the most work, when it's just a small team. When it's a lot of people, everybody wants they shine, and everybody wants to step in the way in their own way, and you don't see results. So I see results with a small circle. You're absolutely correct.
Truthfully, my street team is actually me and my wife. My wife's the editor, so she helps me in the background as well, and she's actually been a really, really huge fan of you. So
tell her I said congrats and keep it going. That's warrior business.
And
that's what we call Warriors Active, DJ Immortal. That's Warriors Active, you know?
Oh, most definitely. You know what I mean? You guys got to keep your circle small and keep your eye on the prize. That's what I look at it as. Just got to keep your eye on the prize, your eye on the ball. Yeah,
you're doing good. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the kind words, I really do. And also, I have to ask you, you also recently were doing some work with Oracle. How did you and her get connected?
Okay, well, we'll go back to the beginning. My very first song, she was a part of the session because her brother is a producer, and she was the singer and the writer along with me and Ron in the studio. So we have a long history from beginning to end, and we just reconnected recently, maybe a couple of years back. So that's family.
And I have to say, she was actually the one that I believe got me and you connected, so I got to give a shout out to Oracle. Thank you for that.
Thanks, sis. That's how it works. We back and forth with it. We like Serena and Venus with this one. Even the younger generation could dig this, you know?
Most definitely. And also,
it's a sisterhood. It's not just a brotherhood, and it's a sisterhood. We have our ways.
And your latest single is called All My Life, which was released in 2018. What's the inspiration behind that track? And also, where can our listeners buy or stream that single?
Make sure y'all go to missplaymusic.com. Any of your streaming devices will link up to it because all of my music is on every platform that you listen to your music at. And All My Life, because I have different producers that I work with, I kind of tailor to what I'm going through emotionally. And sometimes the tracks bring stuff out of me. And I'm like diverse. I like making different kind of music, and I'm not just pigeonhole myself into one way. I know they heard you could do it, and they love that, and there's so many different sides to just music to me. It's concepts, it's the music, you know what I mean? So now I just felt like all my life, I'm going to tell you, as a female, they started opening up the doors for other females maybe later on. But before that, I was just telling my story as I break through. You know what I'm saying? So my breakthrough was I was dealing with a lot of different artists and all of that. And I was just like, look, all my life, I've been afraid of just breaking through and doing my own thing. So now it's that time. So after that, I started dropping all of my projects and, just looking forward.
And you're also the owner and CEO of your own entertainment, called Go Entertainment LLC. I have to ask you, how did that label come to be, and what other artists do you currently have signed to that?
Well, I started out, just figuring out how did I want to get back into the music business and take control of my own destiny. So I was already receiving royalties. So I'm like, how can I reinvest into my music? Because every time that I get this money, I reinvest into myself. So this time, I ended up landing a commercial for Verizon. And so that actually helped me to, invest more. So I wanted to start my company. And I also, wanted to make sure I was able to put my music out right. You know what I'm saying? So I always have all my songs registered. I can put out anything I want, but as a label, I'm able to control some of the things that I want and to have a name behind it. You know what I mean? So I'm doing the work. I need to get the credit. You know what I'm saying? The people behind me are doing the work. They need to get the credit. You know what I'm saying? So I was thankful. I got my own studio. I got in the lab. My producer showed me how to record, and you know what I mean? So I just recorded 2 of my albums, pretty much I Am a Warrior Part 1, 2, and singles from 3. But now I'm back in the studio with Mr. Payback, Mike City, you know what I mean? J-Pad, K-Waz. I have different producers who I'm working with, and me and Ator is one of the other producers I'm working with. We just landed one of our songs on All American. So 224, when you're live on your show, shout me out and let them know to watch All American on the CW so they can hear one of my new songs called Keep Moving.
Oh, most definitely. I actually have Dr. Dre's son coming on that night, so most definitely we're going to have a high listener volume, so I most definitely will make sure that I let them all know about that.
That's what's up. Yeah. So, yeah, Go Entertainment is G-O, you know what I'm saying, an acronym for, getting opportunities and giving them, and you know what I'm saying, just something motivational to keep the line moving. And as far as artists, I am the platinum artist on my label, and when we expand a little bit more, then I'll reach out to some artists that I'm looking at right now. But, we'll keep y'all, posted on what's going on for the future, Gio. But right now, we holding it down. Miss Joy holding it down.
And when you mentioned, like, earlier that you're your own artist and you do all your own stuff, your own distribution, that's the best way to do it, honestly. Then you keep your creative control, you keep your rights in all your music. That's the best way to go in my eyes.
Absolutely, it is. And it's hard to teach other people that because they want other people to spend their money. And, if I can show you how to be a boss and we can win together, that's the best way. But if you go against the grain, you're on your own. You're going to have to hold yourself through this shit because sometimes you don't know the connections that you have are the only ones that's building the bridges, and the ones that you mess up, you might not be able to get those back,
So I also saw on your Instagram about the Warriors movement. Can you tell us a bit more about that, and how did it initially come to be?
Well, when I made the first song, and it is called I Am a Warrior, it didn't become a series at the time. I needed to grow. I was going through a growth, period in my life. And personally, it turned into a warrior movement when I started having more support in different countries. In Australia, I have, DJ Clint Dog there who's streaming all my music there, who, pay for features and play my music in the club. And then I started having, connections in Germany. So it was outside of, my own community that gave me that momentum and motivation. So I needed that, for real.
And also, you have your own radio show, as we talked about, called The Lovely Radio Show. Can you tell us a bit more about that, like how it came to be, and also where can our listeners actually check out your show?
Yeah, Spreaker, Lovely Radio is definitely in the search engine, and you can go to MissToyMusic.com, of course, to listen every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Lovely Radio started, when I started the series, it was like, oh man, I had to have some kind of outlet, you know what I mean, to voice my opinion about what was going on. So we started, the way we started, a humble beginning, and now, we're damn near 30 episodes up almost, you know what I mean, because I have a catalog that I'm pushing, and I have warriors out there in different countries who music needs to be heard, and we have conversations with artists and business owners that need to be said because there's so much false information going on out here that, we need a little love too. It needs to be brought with love. It needs to be brought directly, and it needs to be brought directly from a woman's perspective. And that's what we're doing. We're doing that. We're not acting. We're just doing it. So Lovely Radio is a part of the community. It's an effort from everybody. It's not just me. If you share and like one of the posts and send in your music, it's just that simple. Your music will get played because you don't have an outlet like this. But a lot of people don't even know how to communicate with the artists like yourself, even though Oracle sent it over. That's it. But I feel like you would have reached out to me too. You know what I mean?
Almost
and
definitely.
You would have got the same result. So it's all about the unity and bringing everybody together to do the business. If you're owner of your music, if you own your masters, if you're that type of boss, then you really can work with me. If you're just learning, then you'll catch up later.
That is true. So everybody that is listening, you don't have far to go. The Lovely Radio Show is on the same platform as here. Hit that search engine while you're listening. Type in the Lovely Radio Show. Hit that follow button. Thursdays, 7 p.m. Tune in. Support Miss Toy and the Warriors movement. You ain't got far to go. Type it in. Click it. Follow. I have to ask you this with your radio show, Miss Toy. You interview people like I do. And out of all the people you interviewed, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have to ask you, out of all the people you had on your show, who was your favorite guest that you actually had?
So far, but I really have a great guest that's coming on, and that's Brother Jay from the X-Clan. He'll be on 220. So I don't think I've even done it yet, but as far as my producer, I had a producer month. All of my producers bang. So I had to do a whole month for them. You know what I'm saying? So every week I did, Mr. Payback, KY, J-Pad, you know what I'm saying? Some of my influencers and people who motivate me every day. So I'm still working on that. And I think this one might be one of them because it's the most genuine, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? This is my first interview for 2020, so there you go. And you got some exclusive information from me, so.
Well, definitely. So guys, tap in. I'm just saying. Lovely Radio Show with that follow button. Miss Toy, I have to ask you, what is next for you? Other than the radio show, do you have any other interviews that you have booked that you want to let our listeners know about? Any projects, concerts, CDs, anything you want to? This is your time.
I just want your listeners right now to go to MissToyMusic.com and stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on. 224 CW, my song Keep Moving is in All American. You know what I'm saying? This is a new year, so I have new music on TV. That's exciting for me. So whatever is after this, I don't know. God is great. I'm working on projects, some phenomenal music with some great guys, and we're releasing stuff. So you'll be hearing some new music from me. You'll be hearing my voice on TV and won't even know it's me. You'll be seeing, more from me than you have before. I know that. So just stay tuned, and if you guys tune into the Lovely Radio Show, you'll hear updates. But if you keep it locked right here, I'm sure you know how DJ Immortal gets down. He's going to let you know if you don't stop by at CEO_GOENT. That's my official page. You might not find Miss Toy on the internet like that, but I am the CEO of Geo Entertainment, so just click that. And then I'm Miss Toy That Real on Twitter. So make sure y'all go over there. And Facebook.com/Miss Toy Rapper. If you like that page and get it to 10,000, I'll drop a single as soon as it hit 10,000. How about that? Yeah, this is what we do. We independent. We moving.
Hey, most definitely. So, guys, invite your friends. Share the Facebook page. Invite your friends. Share it. Let's get it 10,000 so we get that single dropped. Miss Toy, this is the time in the interview to give a chance for the individual that comes on the show, a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. And I know you just dropped them, but if you can, your social media handles and your website again. That way our listeners can follow you and check you out if they're not already doing so.
Okay, MissToyMusic.com for everything. CEO_GOENT. Instagram, Twitter, Miss Toy That Real. YouTube, make sure you go to official Miss Toy and subscribe to my channel. And Facebook.com/Miss Toy Rapper. Make sure we get to 10K. All right. And I got a birthday this month, 2/26. So if we get to 10K before my birthday, right there we're gonna drop that single. So y'all be on the lookout for this Geo Entertainment because we're not playing no games over here, and it's Black History Month. So make sure you support.
And I gotta say, Miss Toy, right before I let you go, I want to say happy belated birthday to you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I hope that 10K happens for your birthday because I think that'll be one hell of a great birthday present from the fans, guys. So invite.
yeah, it shows me who's listening. You know what I mean? It give them something to do. Let's get to 10K. We're not that far from it, so all I need is a little bit of support.
Oh, most definitely. I do want to let you know that in the chat feed right here on Spreaker, we're having people already say they clicked the like button, so we're already making it happen.
Okay, well, good. I enjoyed the show, and I appreciate you having me.
I do want to say, Miss Toy, thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful night, and enjoy the rest of your week.
I sure will. Peace and love.